नमस्ते बिटिया, सदा खुश रहो। मेरा नाम डॉक्टर हेमंत व्यास है, एसोसिएट प्रोफेसर, हेड ऑफ डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ सर्जरी, फैकल्टी ऑफ होम्योपैथिक साइंस, ज्योति विद्यापीठ, वुमेन्स यूनिवर्सिटी जयपुर। आज हम डिस्कस करने जा रहे हैं कार्सिनोमा ऑफ लैरिंग्स। So about 90 to 95% of laryngeal malignancies are squamous cell carcinoma with various grades of differentiating squamous cell subtypes including keratinizing and non-keratinizing and well differentiated to poorly differentiated grades। जो बचे हुए 5 से 10% केसेस हैं ये स्पिंडल सेल कार्सिनोमा, मैलिग्नेंट सलाइवरी ग्लैंड ट्यूमर एंड सार्कोमास होते हैं। हमने लैरेंजियल कार्सिनोमा को 3 पार्ट में डिवाइड किया है, ग्लॉटिक, सुप्राग्लॉटिक एंड सबग्लॉटिक। इसमें सबसे ज़्यादा केसेस हमको ग्लॉटिक कार्सिनोमा दैट इज़ 59% केसेस पाए जाते हैं। इससे कम सुप्राग्लॉटिक कार्सिनोमास और सबग्लॉटिक सबसे रेयर यानी 1% केसेस में पाए जाते हैं। वाइडली प्रिवेलेंट इन द इंडियन सबकॉन्टिनेंट इन कंपैरिजन टू द वेस्ट। लैरेंजियल कार्सिनोमा इंडियन सबकॉन्टिनेंट में काफ़ी ज़्यादा पाया जाता है। द लैरिंग्स इज डिवाइडेड इनटू फॉलोइंग 3 anatomical regions। The supraglottic larynx includes the glottis, false vocal cords, ventricles, epiglottis folds and arytenoids। The glottis include the true vocal cord and the anterior and posterior commissures। The subglottic region begins about 1 centimeter below the true vocal cords and extend to the lower border of the cricoid cartilage or the first tracheal ring। अब हम डिस्कस करते हैं ग्लॉटिक कैंसर के बारे में। दिस इज मोस्ट कॉमन टाइप ऑफ कार्सिनोमा ऑफ लैरिंग्स एंड it is responsible for 59% of cases of laryngeal cancer। इसका स्प्रेड जो है एंटीरियरली इट कैन स्प्रेड टू एंटीरियर कमिशर, पोस्टीरियरली वोकल प्रोसेस एंड आर्टेनॉइड प्रोसेस, अपवर्ड इट कैन स्प्रेड टू वेंट्रिकल एंड फॉल्स कॉर्ड, डाउनवर्ड it can spread to subglottic region। Symptoms include hoarseness of voice in an early sign because signs of cord affect its vibratory capacity, stridor when growth becomes larger in size। There are few lymphatic in vocal cord and nodal metastases are never seen unless the disease spread beyond the region of membranous cord। It has good prognosis because of early presentation and late spread it has good prognosis। In the diagram we can see a picture of glottic squamous cell carcinoma of the larynx। The tumor involves the anterior half of the left vocal cord। One more diagram। Now supraglottic cancer। It is less frequent than glottic cancer। Majority of lesions are seen on epiglottis, falls followed by epiglottic fold in that order। May spread locally and invade the adjoining areas, vallicula, base of tongue and piriform fossa। Nodal metastasis occur early in T1 stage, T2 stage and T3 stage। T4 stage the metastasis is maximum 65%। Upper and middle jugular nodes are often involved। Bilateral metastasis may be seen in cases of epiglottic cancer। Symptoms are often silent। Hoarseness is a late symptom, may present with throat pain, dysphagia and referred pain in ear, mass of lymph node in the neck। It has bad prognosis due to early spread and late presentation। Pre-epiglottic space involvement through foramen in infrahyoid epiglottis and paraglottic space involvement through mucosa of the ventricle। So this is how the supraglottic carcinoma can spread। Subglottic cancer। This lesion is very rare and it spread anterior wall to the opposite side or downward to the trachea. May invade cricothyroid membrane, thyroid gland and muscle of the neck. Paratracheal lymph node involved. Symptoms are stridor, and this is the earliest presentation of the supraglottic cancer. Hoarseness is a late symptom as upward spread to the vocal cord is late. Hoarseness of voice indicates spread of disease to undersurface of vocal cords, infiltration of thyroarytenoid muscle, involvement of recurrent laryngeal nerve. Now let's see the diagnosis of laryngeal cancer. First is history. There is symptomatology of glottic, subglottic, supraglottic is different as explained earlier. Indirect laryngoscopy can be used. It is done to see the appearance of lesion which vary according to the site of origin. Vocal cord mobility, fixation of vocal cord indicates deeper infiltration. Extent of the disease. Direct laryngoscopy, it is done to see hidden areas of larynx and extent of disease. Examination of neck is done to find the extra laryngeal spread of the disease, nodal metastasis. Then radiography can be carried out. Chest X-ray essential for coextent lung diseases, pulmonary metastasis and mediastinum nodes. CT scan is useful in investigation to find the extent of the tumor, invasion of pre and para epiglottic space, destruction of cartilage and lymph node involvement. Laryngograms using Dianosil are obsolete nowadays. Microlaryngoscopy for smaller lesions. Laryngoscopy is done under microscope for better visualization. Supravital staining and biopsy. Toluidine blue is applied to the laryngeal lesion and then washed and examined. CIS and superficial carcinomas take up dye while leukoplakia does not, and thus helping in selecting the areas for biopsy. Now we can classify the stages of laryngeal carcinoma by T and M staging. The staging system for laryngeal cancer, clinical and based on the best possible estimation of the extent of disease before treatment. Staging of disease is very important. It is influence the choice of therapy and helps in predicting the overall prognosis. It provides confirmatory amongst clinicians, thereby helping in comparing the efficacy of various forms of therapy. स्टेजिंग के अंदर Tx का मतलब हमने बताया है प्राइमरी ट्यूमर विच कैन नॉट बी असेस्ड, T0 that is no evidence of primary tumor, and TIS means carcinoma in situ. Glottis T1, T1A, T1B. T1 is tumor limited to the vocal cords, may involve anterior or posterior commissure with normal mobility. T1A tumor limited to one vocal cord, and T1B tumor involve both vocal cords. T2 is tumor extend to supraglottis and or subglottis and with impaired vocal cord mobility. T3 is tumor limited to larynx with vocal cord fixation and or invasion of paraglottic space, inner cortex of thyroid cartilage. T4A and T4B. T4A moderately advanced local disease, tumor invades through the outer cortex of thyroid cartilage and or invades tissue beyond the larynx, trachea, soft tissue of neck including deep extensor muscle of the tongue, strap muscle, thyroid or esophagus. T4B is very advanced local disease, tumor invades prevertebral space, encase carotid artery or invades mediastinal structures. So stage 0, 1, 2, 3 are the early stages. from TIS, T1 and T2. These are the early stages. T3 to T4B are advanced stages. Now let's see what are the surgical options for the treatment of the carcinoma of larynx. For small T1 lesions, we can go for CO2 lasers, transoral endoscopic CO2 laser, chordectomy. Cure rates are uniformly above 90%. Quality of voice depends on extent of resection. Laryngo fissure and chordectomy, rarely used now when endoscopic exposure is very poor. CO2 laser indications: tumor limited to the glottis, that is T1, T2, early T3, normal vocal cord mobility is there. Localized residual recurrent disease following failure of RT for early cancer. Debulking of tumor for stridor. T2N0 glottis cancer, freely mobile cords. Radiotherapy to the primary including radiation to upper neck nodes. If failure occurs, conservative laryngectomy or total laryngectomy with or without dissection is done. T2N0 glottic cancer, that is impaired cord mobility, involvement of anterior commissure or arytenoids. RT is avoided because of, that is radiotherapy is avoided because of the possibility of developing perichondritis. Also impaired mobility indicates deeper invasion and thus proper response to radiation. Conservative laryngectomy is done. If failure occurs, total laryngectomy is done. In T3 and T4 stages of glottic carcinoma, best treated by total laryngectomy combined with neck dissection if lymph nodes are palpable. Can only be combined with post-operative radiotherapy. Now supraglottic carcinomas, T1 lesion are treated by radiotherapy or CO2 laser. T2 lesion require consideration of pulmonary function. If pulmonary function is good, supraglottic laryngectomy is done. If pulmonary function is poor, radiotherapy can be given with follow-up. T3 and T4 lesions require total laryngectomy with neck dissection and post-operative radiotherapy. Now after the operations, the patient may require vocal rehabilitation after the operation. Esophageal speech. The patient is taught to swallow air in the esophagus and to release it slowly from esophagus to pharynx. The patient can speak up to 6 to 10 understandable words. Artificial larynx. Electrolarynx. It has a vibrating disc which is held against the soft tissues of the neck. Transoral pneumatic device. Here vibrations produced in a rubber diaphragm is carried by a plastic tube into the back of oral cavity where sound is converted to speech by modulators. Then tracheoesophageal speech. Here attempt is made to carry air from trachea to esophagus or hypopharynx by the creation of skin-lined fistula or nowadays prosthesis, that is Blom-Singer or Penge, are used which prevent the risk of aspiration. So that's it from today's session. This session is powered by Digital Version 2.0 Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University. Hope you are satisfied with this digital session. If you have any query, please mention in comment box. I will resolve it. Thank you very much.